All right, so today we're going to dive into a pretty powerful way of looking at life, especially when things get tough. We're talking about a framework for finding hope, and it all kicks off with one really big question.
I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? When it feels like you're completely stuck in the dark. Where does that little flicker of hope actually come from? Well, the source material we're looking at today has a really unique answer, and it comes in two parts.
And this isn't just some cheesy motivational poster slogan. Nope, this is a whole system, a two-part approach that connects how we see ourselves to something much, much bigger. So let's start with part one, which is all about you.
The first piece of this puzzle is this amazing metaphor for our own self-worth. The basic idea is that deep down, every single one of us is like this incredibly precious gem, even when we feel like anything but.
You've probably heard the phrase, a diamond in the rough, right? Well, this source takes that idea and runs with it. It says, look, on the surface you might feel covered in mud and dirt from life, from your mistakes, from your failures. But underneath all of that gunk is a core of pure, brilliant value that literally cannot be damaged.
And this is the key difference right here. On the one hand, you've got how things look on the outside, the rough, muddy stone that's defined by your job, your relationships, your problems. But on the other hand, you've got the internal truth, that brilliant, unbreakable diamond. And get this, the source argues this isn't just a nice thought, it's a fact.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Real hope isn't something you wait around for someone else to give you. It's not in a new job or a new relationship. It's a resource that's already inside you, just waiting to be tapped into. But you can only access it when you actually believe in that inner diamond.
Okay, I can hear you now. Sure, just believe I'm a diamond. Easy to say. And you're right. When you are truly at rock bottom, that can feel completely hollow, like some kind of useless fantasy. But here's the cool part. The source totally saw that objection coming, and the answer is the second, absolutely crucial part of this whole system.
So, how do you turn this inner diamond idea from just wishful thinking into something real and powerful? Well, the source gives us another great metaphor to explain how it works: the engine and the fuel.
Okay, so think of it like this. Believing you're a diamond, that's the engine. It's incredibly powerful, it's got all this potential, but even the most powerful engine in the world is just a heavy piece of metal without fuel. And that fuel, according to this source, is faith.
Without that fuel, the engine of your self-worth just sputters and stalls out. You might know in your head that you're a diamond, but you won't feel it in your gut. Faith is the energy that actually turns the key and makes that powerful engine roar to life.
Now, this is a pretty radical claim. What this is saying is that all those feelings of hopelessness, that voice of self-criticism, the habit of complaining, it's not actually about your bad circumstances. It's because your fuel tank is on empty.
The source takes this even deeper with another tech analogy. Think of faith as the operating system on your computer or your phone. It's not just one app you open every now and then. No, it's the fundamental software that runs in the background and processes every single thing that happens to you.
So what happens when you install this new Faith OS? Well, according to the source, it changes everything. It completely transforms how you see the world, and most importantly, how you see your own suffering. You start seeing your life through a much, much wider lens.
From our normal human viewpoint, the story is pretty simple. This is awful, and I'm a victim. It's a story that keeps us trapped. But when you install that Faith OS, it's like you can suddenly zoom out and see the whole cosmic story.
And this is what that zoomed-out view looks like. According to the source, our soul's journey is this epic saga that spans millions of years. Look at that timeline. Our entire life right now is just that tiny, tiny sliver. It's one chapter in a massive book, and one bad chapter doesn't ruin the whole story.
When you look at it that way, the meaning of a tragedy completely flips on its head. It's no longer the end of the world. From the bigger perspective, what the source calls God's perspective, it's just a necessary plot twist. It's the part in the movie where the hero gets knocked down, setting them up for an even bigger comeback later.
So all of this leads us to maybe the most challenging and honestly the most life-changing idea in this entire framework: the notion that our worst hardships might actually be gifts.
Whoa! Now that is a radical statement. Let that sink in. The idea is that since these hard times are what polish the diamond of our soul, they are, on some deep cosmic level, happy things. I mean, how on earth can that possibly be true? Now, let's be super clear here. This does not mean you're supposed to be smiling and giddy when something terrible happens. Not at all. The source isn't talking about emotional happiness. It's talking about a seismic shift in how you see its value and its ultimate purpose.
Here's a great way to think about it: the soul athlete. Imagine an Olympic athlete in training. The workouts are brutal. They're in pain, they're exhausted, they're sacrificing everything. But they don't see that pain as a punishment. No way. They see it as the very thing that's forging them into a champion. Well, in this view, hardship is our soul's workout, designed by the perfect trainer to make us stronger.
So at the end of the day, it really comes down to a choice. You can live in what's called the attack frame, where every problem is an attack, other people are enemies, and the main goal is to find someone to blame. Or you can choose the training frame, where every problem is a gift, other people are just messengers, and the goal is to grow.
And if you really see hardship as a gift, then the person or the situation that brings it to you, well, they're just the messenger, right? You wouldn't yell at the mail carrier for delivering a package, even if it's heavy. So why would you resent the person delivering a lesson for your soul?
So we've gone from seeing ourselves as a diamond in the rough all the way to seeing our problems as gifts. This entire way of thinking boils down to one final, really powerful question for you to ponder. If you were to truly live this way,
How would your idea of what's unfair or unjust totally change? If every single challenge you've ever faced was a perfectly crafted tool just for you to help your soul grow, could anything truly be unfair? That's a big one to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.